What's quack-a-lacking, guys? I'm a Duck Quack here, and welcome back to another episode of How Much. So in this episode, we're going to look at a few different things, and it might be slightly longer than normal, but I feel like there's a few investments we can talk about. So the first thing we're going to look at is going to be Belgium special cards. Now, it's not going to be informs or anything like that. It's going to be man of the match cards. Now, the reason we're going to look at these is on the off chance that they can be used for the Lukaku SBC if he were to win Player of the Month. So these aren't risk-free investments. They're investments for last-minute investors for Player of the Month who don't mind losing a little bit of coins on these. So the first one's going to be Bossa. Now, the big downside to this guy is he is a silver card, so he's only 74 rated. He discards for 7,400-ish coins, and you can still pick him up for about 8,500. So about 1,000 coin loss on this guy on Xbox at the moment. Very similar on PlayStation. You can make up the rating. Say you needed X special Belgium cards for this Lukaku Player of the Month, then this guy could still be used. It just means they've got to spend more elsewhere, which would equal itself out because they'd spend less on this card, more on other cards, etc, etc. It isn't risk-free, like I said, because there is a chance he's not going to be needed. But if you do feel Lukaku's going to win, you've left it a little bit late, then you've got an option here. You've also got a decent rated card here. So you've got Dendonka. Or Dendonka? I don't know if I'm saying that right. You've got this guy anyway. So this guy comes with double bonus points. He's not only Belgium, but he's from Lukaku's previous club, Anderlecht. He's an 84 rated, so it's a really solid rated card. And he's going for about 20,000 coins. Now this guy has been inflated a little bit. His price has definitely gone up from what it was sitting at before. He was basically discard back in the day. But if you're looking for last minute investments, you're going to lose money if you get it wrong now either way. If this does come off, then you can make absolutely tons of money, but you've got to be willing to take that gamble, obviously. Okay, guys, the next cards we're going to look at is going to be along the same kind of lines. So this is going to be revolved around a lot of risk as well. But if you get it right, it's going to pay off once again. Now, Lukaku's previous club, he's had three. So he's had Anderlecht, Chelsea, and now Everton. He's had loan spells elsewhere. I think it was West Brom and Chelsea. But that's been basically it for his whole senior career. So you do have the options of special cards from Chelsea. Again, the informs aren't coming cheap. But what you can get fairly cheap are, well, you've got the Moustache card here, but he's 69 rated. A bit of a risk, in my opinion. You've got an 86 rated Pedro, who's only 32,500 coins. And you've got Batshuayi, who's a Belgium striker for Chelsea, so he covers two boxes again. Now, we have seen squad builder challenges released from EA that simply require you to have X gold cards and then one that isn't gold, or one that isn't silver or bronze, one that isn't normal, basically. All of these cards would fill that criteria. Again, this is not a safe investment. It's still a gamble of an investment, but it's one that will pay off massively if you do happen to get it right. So guys, the next player we're going to look at is going to be another one for the Lukaku Player of the Month. And I'm guessing you guys have got the trend of this video now. We're going to be looking at the Player of the Month predominantly. Now, you can pick up Courtois for about 31,000 coins on Xbox. And if you're on PlayStation, he's about 38,000 coins. This is only about a 3,000 coin increase on what he's been sitting at prior to the whole hype around this SBC. Now, if we look back to last month when Lukaku was nominated, Courtois was sitting at around 39,000 coins during the lead up to it. He's about 8,000 coins cheaper. And if EA do require a full Belgium team, then you're going to make an absolute killing off this guy. And if they require his previous clubs, he's Chelsea as well. This guy can't tick enough boxes. Personally, I think this is a fairly... Well, we've got FUT birthday coming up, so prices may very well drop. It's not a massively safe investment, but it's one of the safer last-minute investments you're going to find if you think Lukaku's going to win. Right, guys, the last player we're going to look at is going to be Ashley Williams here. Now, this is going to be the last player for Lukaku anyway. And the reason we're looking at him is he's only 2,100 coins on Xbox and only 1,800 on PlayStation. Now, you can pick him up easier on bids for less. So you can probably pick him up for about 1,900, 2,000 coins. And the reason I like him so much is if an Everton SBC is needed for Lukaku, because of his 83 rating, he's most likely going to be a staple. He's also currently used in the Premier League SBC, so that's why he holds a bit of value here. And he's 83 rated, like I said. So if we see a Team of the Week squad builder challenge or anything similar for FUT Birthday, his price is going to at least hold its value because he's going to be able to be used in these. If you've not got many coins, or you're looking for a cheaper option, or you don't want to gamble too many coins, this guy seems like a fairly safe bet still. Right, guys, we're going to move on to King now, and we're going to look at potential investment opportunities that have minimal risk. So we're just going to start with his nationality. He's Norwegian, and you can pick up Norwegian gold players of 78 rating or 80 rating for this goalkeeper for discard value. There is literally no risk in it. If we just raise the price cap a little bit, up to 700, you can see that there's a few more players. You've also got the likes of the whole player here, who's slightly inflated, probably because of the BPL Squad Builder Challenge. But then you've also got rare gold players who discard for what you can buy them for. These are literally risk-free investments. And if a Norwegian side is required, you're going to at least double, maybe even triple your coins if you believe King is going to win it, and then he obviously goes on to win it. Right, guys, so the next investment for King we're going to look at are his previous clubs. The predominant one we're going to look at is going to be Blackburn Rovers. So in his career, he started his senior career at United. He didn't actually make an appearance for them, though. He then went on loan to Preston North End for 8 games in which he played. He then went over to Germany, to Borussia Mönchengladbach, and I hope I'm saying that right, and he only made 2 appearances there. He then came back to Hull. He made 18 appearances. Blackburn Rovers, where he made 8 appearances. And then he had a permanent move to Blackburn, where he made 56 appearances, scoring 3 goals, followed by his move to Bournemouth, obviously. So the reason that we're going to look at Blackburn predominantly is it's because it's the only other club that he played for a decent stretch of time and made some strong appearances. As you can see, you can still pick up a couple of silver players for very, very close to discard. And if we're bidding on them, we can probably get them, well, get even more of them for closer to discard. You might have to be a little bit more patient. I highly doubt we're going to need special cards for King, just because he's going to be quite low rated. You've also got the option of picking up some bronze players, and I don't think Blackburn have got any gold players now. So you've got the option of picking up some bronze players as well, and you literally can get them for 150. So you do minimalise the risk there. You can also obviously do the same thing for the other clubs, the likes of Preston, Hull, even Manchester United, although I feel that one's extremely unlikely. But again, the good thing about these is there's minimal to no risk involved with it, and that's the ideal thing that we want from investments. Right, guys, the last thing we're going to touch on this episode is going to be the clubs that they played against in the last month, predominantly the one where they got the hat-trick. So if we look at King, he got his hat-trick against West Ham. Now, West Ham players are, well, you can currently get Sacco for about $7.50 on both consoles. I'd advise bidding on these players. You can more than likely get them for cheaper if you're patient, much closer to discard. But you can see you've got a few options here. They may include the past games that they've played. They may include the teams that they've played against in the international break. The other couple of squad builder challenges are usually a bit hard to guess, just since EA like to keep stuff fresh and keep us guessing. So you can pick up players that they've played against for discard value, and these again are going to be very low risk. Because we don't know they're going to be used, though, it's a bit more of a gamble. So I'd probably use these as a last resort if you're really stuck and other prices have started to increase. Right, guys, just before we end the episode, we're going to have a look at a couple of one-to-watch players as well. Now, there's loads of them that are fantastic investment opportunities at the moment, mainly because everyone's distracted. So we had the international games, people forgot about them. Now we've got FUT Birthday, and people are forgetting about them. People who casually trade or invest are very fickle-minded in the sense that they easily forget about stuff and move on to the next thing. Now, it's not because they're bad at what they do, they just don't care as much as other people, which is where we can benefit, though. So the first player we're going to look at is going to be Julian Draxler. On Xbox at the moment, you can pick him up for around 115,000 on bid or 118 buy it now. And on PlayStation, about 150,000. On both consoles, this is about 30,000 coins cheaper than he's been at his lowest point for about the last month. Now, when he starts playing again, when the hype kicks back in and the speculation starts rising, his price is undoubtedly going to go up. If he were to score a goal, you could double your money on this investment as well. I feel like this is going to be one of the best opportunities we have to pick up Draxler for a cheap bargain. Right, guys, the last player we're going to look at in this video, and just before I go into it, remember, there are loads of one-to-watch options at the moment. I'm only mentioning a couple of here. We've still got other options. The likes of Gabbiadini is fairly cheap. The likes of Sanson is extremely cheap. You've got Mali. You've got Nyang, who's fairly cheap. Bellahino, Bailey, Gagliardini, just everybody basically is really cheap at the moment. I'm just picking a couple of my favourite ones. If they do go up in price, just remember you can look elsewhere. Anyway, right now we're going to be looking at Jovetic. You can currently pick his one-to-watch card up on Xbox for under 50,000 coins. That's an absolute steal for him. On PlayStation at the moment, he's currently going for about 65,000 coins. So again, not stupidly expensive. Now, the reason I like this guy so much is hype coming up to a match. He'll easily raise 10,000 coins. But on top of that, Seville's next fixture is against relegation struggling Sporting Gijon. Now, if Jovetic starts and bags himself a goal, you can sell off hype alone for massive amounts of money. I just feel like there's too much potential with him. He's bound to get another inform. Well, I can see him getting another inform before the end of the season. And 50,000 with him already having a special card just seems a little bit cheap for me still. So guys, if you're still enjoying the series and you still want me to continue it, make more videos on this, you're finding all the investment tips useful and everything, if you could let me know by dropping a like, subscribing if you're new, and commenting with any questions, that would be absolutely amazing. If we could aim for maybe 50 likes on this video as well, that would be incredible. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching again. Thanks for the continued support, and I'll catch you next time.